Hey, what's up, everybody? It is a beautiful Sunday morning in Southwest Florida, and we are going to go over a pretty outrageous claim that some people found a mysterious blip over Mandalay Bay on October 1st. And we're going to go over and cover that. But before we do, I want to show you their source that they were using. It is called flightradar24.com. Okay, anybody can go there and check on my work and check on the work that these people did. And you will come to see that they didn't do a whole lot of homework. I can tell you one thing, they are flat out wrong. Like I said, anybody can go there and check. You can view live. You can go back 30, 60, even farther. But yeah, I encourage you to go there and check it all out. Now, one thing I want to explain to you about how this works. I know it says radar on there, but this is actually not radar. What this is it takes the plane's transponders. And the transponders just basically, they relay to satellites and they give information to the carriers as well as to the FAA, and they also relay position. All aircraft are required by the FAA to have these transponders on there so that they can properly identify them. So one thing you're going to notice is because they are not radar and they're transponders, they're not going to be accurate down to the foot like some other people claim. And you're going to see that demonstrated here. So, alright, so we shall begin. I'll show you the claim first, and then we'll touch on, see how true that claim really is. Alright, let's begin.
At about 10:22, a blip comes up on the radar just south of the Mandalay. It's disguising itself. It is projecting. It's transponding a call sign for Southwest Airlines Flight 4119. It's virtually impossible. It's absolutely impossible because this craft specifically slows down to nearly a stop, makes an abrupt course change to the north, where it slowly inches itself forward until it comes into an exact hover exactly over the southwest rooftop of the Delano Hotel.
And this is from the recordings of the radar from the FAA that we're showing people on screen right now, ladies and gentlemen. It comes in like a plane, then flies exactly like a helicopter, and then again with the transponder of another aircraft. I mean, wow.
Now, we also know there was a guy on top of the Mandalay Bay's roof. He was supposedly a photographer. He was supposedly filming time lapse. He had earbuds. He was wearing earbuds. So security came up there. They told him, hey, he needs to get off the roof. There's been a shooting. Now this is more around the time of the shooting, and which is very suspicious. But this guy could have acted as a spotter because that craft that literally hovered exactly over the rooftop of the Delano. There's an image in there. You guys might be able to show the Delano imagery where there's that arrow pointing to the corner, but this craft hovered for 1 minute exactly. I mean, this flight radar, when you zoom in, it tracks things to the foot. This thing was hovering at the exact place you would make an extraction from the Delano River.
Alright, so let's go over a couple things. He says it's a blip that just mysteriously appears. Well, he doesn't show you the whole clip of that radar, does he? He doesn't show you that the flight actually comes in. He makes it appear like it just appears out of nowhere. This is the flight that he's talking about right here from Tulsa to Las Vegas. I'm going to show you the flight from Tulsa all the way to Vegas so that no, it is not just a blip. And yes, it was a plane. I'm also going to show you how this site is glitchy and how a couple Southwest airline flights actually appear to fly past the airport and go, stop like pretty close to Mandalay. You'll be able to tell that this site is glitchy. I'll show you that. But also he goes in and says he talks about how this could have been a rooftop extraction, But he actually admits that there is people up there, including security. And first off, let me tell you something. There's nothing suspicious about a guy doing time lapse overviewing a concert. I mean, no, that is not suspicious at all. That's actually a very good viewpoint. And hell, if I could do it, I would love to do it. I love doing time lapse. It's one of my little passions of mine. But so no, that is not suspicious at all. And what else? Oh yeah, let's touch in on the fact that he admits that there's people up there. Well, let me play you this clip from the police that night from the scanner.
Control Air 5, we've been able to clear all the lower roof. There are employees on the upper roof, and there's like a break area up there. The lower roofs, especially on the east side, have all been cleared.
Alright, so not only does he admit that there is photographer up there as well as security, from the police audio clip you can hear that this is an employee break area. Okay? So this idea that there's rooftop shooters or a rooftop extraction, I'm sorry. I can't even believe he said that with a straight face. It's just laughable. No, it's false. Sorry. Nope. No way. Now, in an earlier video, I made a timeline video that night. Now, while I was making it, I made a map so I can map out where all the camera locations were. It helped me, and it also helped other people follow along with the timeline. But I'm going to put that up right here. Now, all the red and amber dots are camera locations, and obviously there's witnesses behind those cameras, as well as all the blue dots, which are police locations. Okay, these are all the police that were seen inside those in the camera footage. You can easily search this all on YouTube. Alright, so this idea that you can have all these officers and all these witnesses all around Mandalay and not hear or see a helicopter flying over Mandalay doing some supposed rooftop extraction, no, it's it's laughable. So these guys like to say that, you know, there's certain covert helicopters that are silent. Sorry, no, there's no such thing as a silent helicopter. Military does have a few helicopters that are quieter, but basically all that means is you can't hear them from miles out like you can with normal helicopters. But you know, being as close as these people were, they're going to hear that helicopter, especially the people on the roof, the people that were all illustrated in my map here. They would hear it. They would see it. Their eyes were all focused on Mandalay because that's where the shots were coming from. Alright, so as you see, I sped up the flight radar earlier, and we are now coming into Vegas, and you'll see how the flight tracks in, and it appears that it flies over the airport and then stops over Mandalay, and that's what they're focusing on. They don't show you the flight coming in like I am showing you right now. They want you to think that it appears out of nowhere, which is just false, as you see right here. So yes, that was a real flight. Yes, it's a real transponder, and yes, it does appear to fly over Las Vegas and stop over Mandalay. Also, he focused in on that group of helicopters that's flying around right now, as you see, that's coming in for land. He was saying that that transponder goes dark and then flies into that group of helicopters to land at the airport. Okay, let's use some common sense here. If it's going to be a covert style action, they're not going to put a transponder of a airline coming in. I mean, that's just going to tip off that there's something wrong right there, because airplanes don't stop and hover. And you're not even going to have a transponder. I mean, you want to be unseen, so you would have your transponder turned off. or taking off. All right, I mean, just use some common sense here. And he insinuated that that group of 7 helicopters becomes 8. Well, as you see, it's still 7. It's always 7. It comes in as 7. And he also said that that plane is seen flying off into the west. No, it just disappears. That's it. And I'll show you how I was able to figure this all out right now. Alright, so before we begin, I want to show you, look on the bottom, the bar. You'll see a date of Monday, October 2nd at 5 a.m. And if you look on the top right, in the black bar, you see UTC and time of day. That's the current time. That was the time that I was looking at this. And it goes by universal time. So universal time would be 7 hours ahead of Vegas. Okay? So that would put it at, 10 p.m. in Vegas would be October 2nd at 5 a.m. universal time. So that's why it says October 2nd at 5 a.m. Okay? So I just wanted to clarify that before I get any questions on it. Alright. So we're going to go back 7 hours, which would be October 1st at 2200 hours. And that's this right here. Now you're going to see, this is where I'm going to point out the glitches. And I actually found this on accident. Here comes a flight coming in. Let's highlight it. Now you know it's coming into Vegas. And it will fly past the airport. And it will stop, well, appear to stop, right below my paws. Right there. Alright, so you know flights don't do that. And you know it didn't land there, it didn't crash there, so we'd hear it all over the news, right? Here comes in another flight. And this is a Southwest Airlines 4597. Okay? And it will fly over the airport and then stop right across the street from Mandalay. Right there. Another glitch. We found 2 of them in a matter of seconds. And here comes the other flight right above the airport. Looks like it just landed on Russell Road. I mean, there's 3 glitches right there. So, like I said in the beginning, this site is a little glitchy. I don't know if it has something to do with transponders maybe not being calibrated correctly, or if it's just the site itself or their server. Whatever the case may be, the site is glitchy. So, as I said earlier, this is not radar. This is, transponders relaying information, and then, using Google Maps, they line up everything. Just like your car driving down the street. How it's able to keep, your vehicle on the road that you're traveling in. And sometimes, if you're a Waze user like me, sometimes you'll notice that you're driving off the road. It looks like you're driving off the road on the map, but you're obviously really not. It's just glitches. That's all. Glitches happen all the time. Alright, so I'm just going to continue on. I'm going to play this in fast forward, but show you some more glitches here, and you'll be able to see for yourself. This site is just glitchy. This right here, what we're looking at is a live view. I wanted to see if it was just something that was coming up in the recorded data versus live data. And I found that the live data is just as glitchy as the recorded stuff. So, check them out. Alright, before we finish up, I just wanted to show you or address some quick issues here. He also mentioned how there's helicopters that mysteriously stopped behind Mandalay. I want you to look at these here. They show up as airplane icons, right? But as you see, I just pulled them up. They're actually helicopters. They're flying out of Maverick helicopters. Those are all Maverick helicopters. Alright, now we're going to focus on the left side of Mandalay, which should be located in that tan square. And he also insinuates that these helicopters right here, we're going to rewind so you can see them fly off and then come back. But he says that they stop and they hover, and he's insinuating that they shoot in between Mandalay's two buildings into the crowd. Well, first off, I mean, just the idea of that is just ludicrous because, one, they're farther, and it's just not feasible. They have less line of sight. They're putting themselves farther away, and you know we can hear all the gunshots. Let me pause this real quick. But we can hear all the gunshots, and you can see that there's lapse time in between the gunshots. So if you have, and he says that there's 3 helicopters. I'm showing you here that there's 2. All right, not 3, but 2, and they actually are the same helicopters that end up taking off shortly after they land here. But really, the transponders, like I said, this site is glitchy. Transponders just go dark here. It freezes up basically, but really they continued on and they went and landed at Maverick. That's the same group of helicopters that I showed you leave. You can look at the tail numbers and match them up. So as you see, that group of helicopters that leaves that has the same numbers, tail numbers, as the ones that were supposedly hovering during the entire time of the shooting. Yeah, well, they were leaving. They landed and then they left again during the shooting. So they stopped before the shooting started. All right. And then he's saying that they stayed there the entire time, which they didn't, because the proof is right there that they then take off again, and that is during the shooting. So as you see, these guys, they don't do their homework. I encourage you to go to flightradar24.com and sign up. They've got a 7-day free trial. It doesn't cost you a dime, and then you can go back and you can review it all yourself. I mean, you will see the same stuff I'm seeing, no different. And this is the same stuff that they could see, but they choose not to. They choose to go a different path and lie to people, and you know, to each their own. That's what they choose to do in life. Yeah, not me. I'm going to bring you the facts, and I'm going to bring you the truth. Alright, before I sign off here, I just wanted to touch up on something else he said. He's saying that these gentlemen right here, right there, he's saying that those are armed mercenaries. I mean, come on. Look at all these witnesses. Who the hell is police? Yeah. He doesn't even show you this part. Not at all. He cuts it off. He just shows you the SWAT team officers getting in and says that they're mercenaries. I mean, these people are unreal. I don't get their mindset and why they want to lie to people, but you know, whatever. So, alright, there it is. There you have it. Debunked. All of it. Peace.
But your rings on me, with